Something weird is going on with the Miss USA and Miss Teen USA, both of whom have just resigned, like within the span of a couple of weeks of one another. You were Miss USA first runner-up. You were Miss California. So the first gal, Miss USA, resigned, Noella Voigt, and she said it was about her mental health. That's why she was piecing out of the contest, or the role, not the contest. She already won. And then people noticed that in her post, the first letter in each sentence of her statement revealed the phrase, "I am silenced." And then the Teen USA, Sofia Srivastava, I don't have it. Srivastava. She resigned.
Good enough.
Srivastava, sorry, forgive me, Sophia. She resigned saying, okay, I'll look back on this time fondly. It was fulfilling, but my personal values no longer fully align with the direction of the organization. Then their moms, not them because they're under NDAs, go on GMA and also sounded rather cryptic, but here's what they said.
Fans online noticed immediately when Noelia posted her resignation online that the sentences seemed to start with letters that spelled out, "I am silenced."
Correct.
Was that intentional on her part?
I don't feel comfortable answering that question.
Do you feel like she was silenced?
She is, and she would be the rest of her life if this NDA is not being lifted. The girls need to speak.
So I want to make clear, it's not about what they didn't get, about the prizes. No, right. It's about how they were ill-treated, abused, bullied, and cornered.
Look at what happened to Noelia Uma Sofia. So really pay attention. We don't want them to go through this. Right now, it's not the right time to participate.
So you think that young women should essentially stop participating in these types of pageants?
Absolutely. We just don't want these families and these girls to go through what we're going through.
All right, Britt, what do you make of it?
Well, I think I should remind people that these are the first title holders under the We Men. Remember the We Men, the new transgender director. Remember, like the We Men, I make a pageant for We Men. And we're like, yeah, you can't even say women. So these are the first title holders under him. And when you have someone at the top who is clearly unwell, who is clearly mentally off, and he's responsible for all these young women who are very impressionable. And when I competed in the Miss USA system, man, they go after every little bit of you that's not perfect to make it perfect. And there's a lot of stuff that's very questionable. Donald Trump was my boss when I was in the Miss USA system because it was his organization then. But my direct director was a man who had been married, who then became gay. And there were real weird things that happened in dressing rooms with him, like measuring my body and stuff that you just kind of like are doe-eyed, because you're young and you don't know any different. You're thrown into this. But I can only imagine with a director like they have now running the circus, what's going on. Clearly, there's stuff that's really wrong. And my heart goes out to those girls because I know it was probably terrifying for them to leave their titles after hitting that high. Says a lot that something went really, really bad. But I can't say I'm shocked. I can't say I'm surprised.
All we know so far is that the Miss USA, Noelia Voigt, she resigned in a letter, and the letter was reported. It was the New York Times and NBC who obtained a copy of it, and she writes as follows in part. There is a toxic work environment within the Miss USA organization that at best is poor management and at worst is bullying and harassment. Went on to say, Miss USA CEO and President Layla Rose consistently failed to communicate, and that when she did, she was often cold and unnecessarily aggressive. It's incredibly jarring to try to do my job and constantly be threatened with disciplinary action, including taking away my salary for things that were never discussed with me. And if it related to a public-facing post, for example, were causing no issue other than not meeting her personal preference, she wrote. She included details about an alleged incident of sexual harassment at a Christmas event in Florida, writing, she was left alone in a car with a man who made several inappropriate statements to me about his desire to enter into a relationship with me. Voigt said that when Rose was made aware of her situation, Rose told Voight, "We cannot prevent people saying things to you at public appearances. It is unfortunately part of the role you're in as a public figure." Well, hello. The answer to that is obviously to keep a chaperone with her. That would discourage any such behavior. Voight said she had been diagnosed with anxiety for which she'd been prescribed medication. It sounds like it was rather unpleasant for these young women. Can your savings weather an economic storm? Think about what you've put away for the future. Inflation can render cash worthless. Real estate can crash like it did in 2008. Economies built on a mountain of debt can fall like a house of cards. There are very few physical assets you can invest in that can stand the test of time. But gold has withstood as a valued form of money. It's why many people are flocking to it now and why Birch Gold is busier than ever. Through a little-known tax loophole, Birch Gold lets you convert a retirement account into a tax-sheltered IRA in physical gold. And the best part, it doesn't cost you 1 cent out of pocket. To learn more, text MK to 989898 and claim your free info kit on gold. Again, can your IRA or 401k weather an economic storm? If not, consider looking into Birch Gold. Just text MK to 989898 and explore securing your savings today. Hey, thanks so much for watching. If you like what you just saw, hit the subscribe button for more clips and full episodes.